Hello everyone, this is Mr. Larryman here, and today I will be casting a replay of Rise of the Witch King sent in by Kexilas. Now, this is a fairly standard game played on patch 4.9, so this is before the competitive mode changes, keep that in mind. And what we have in this game that supposedly sets apart is that it features a very fast Western Gondor clearing time, specifically a 4.5 minute Wainrider clear. So in the early game, I'm going to be focusing a lot on the Wainrider clear, maybe missing a little bit of the action in other parts, but supposedly it's the highlight of this game. And yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Now, do keep in mind that I just finished casting a 2-hour, 7-minute game, so my voice is a little raspy right now. I apologize if my tone or like my excitement level is a little bit too low because I'm kind of exhausted, but regardless, I'm trying to get a lot of these casts done in a fast time. So on Arphadan, we have Lazy Turtle. On Cardinal, we have Curafin. On Elves, we have Evil Knight, which I'm not familiar with. And on Western Gondor, we have Kexilas. So maybe this is a little bit of a self-plug by him. But regardless, it's supposed to be a very fast time. And of course, Kexilas starts by clearing out the Western Condors. I mean, not Condors, cannons on the Wainrider spawn. Technically speaking, you don't need to clear these, but it does make it a heck of a lot easier and safer. He then recalls over in a very fast, seamless transition to take out these two cannons, leaving a few mass units on his ball to tank some of the shots instead of his heroes. By the way, Mihahaz is the Evil Min in this case. Commander LF is the Missing Mountains, and Hyman Buster, which I'm also not familiar with, is the Amar. This might have been played on the EU server, I'm not sure. Kex is a EU player after all, and I see a bunch of EU players. I don't know that Lazy Turtle also tends to play on EU as well. Kex, I think that was an accident, accidentally killing a Druidine there. And watch this. So Kex stutter steps his ranged mass units and melee mass units and doesn't actually have them attack the cannon. Instead, he has them just hold position right next to his heroes to tank damage for him. Kex also doesn't use Adderhill to kill this cannon here because it probably would mean that Adderhill gets attacked by two cannons right here. And now Adderhill is used to take out this cannon, only one of which attacks at once. And then he goes for this cannon over to here. Apparently this cannon up here can't actually fight back. I didn't know that. And then now Kex is just kind of healing for a second. Lord of Penofgalen's ability did actually get used to clear these three cannons, by the way, at the start. Kex also using this time to clear out a bit of Evilman's mass. And now that he's healed a little bit, he's going for this cannon. Also, only one cannon attacking him at once, and then going for this cannon. And now that all of the outer cannons have been cleared already at 3 minutes 30, he's going to heal up a little bit and presumably, yeah, recall over a bit of mass here. Adderhill ability, I'd assume. Yep, Adderhill ability going in, and now he attacks the spawn. Freezes it with Urnur, I'd assume. Yeah, now he does. He actually waits a little bit because he has the extra mass covering. And do notice how, again, he hold positions his mass so that it's as efficient as possible. And then he uses Urnur and the Lower Penogalen to kill the Wainrider encampment by poking it. This cannon right here cannot actually attack from here. Now, this cannon can attack. I think he accidentally edged Urnur a bit too close, but he's actually just letting it attack to go for the faster clear, because Adderhill is also joining in on it. And look at that, 4 minute 30. And we just swapped over cannons to Western Gondor fast enough to see the kill on Morgamir. Looks like a arrows and a shield. Very cool. So Kex, although a little bit self-plugging, you know, like he's sharing the replay where he does really fast clearing. Regardless, that was a very impressive time. Basically, a lot of angling yourself so that only one Evilman cannon attacks at once. You never want more than one cannon to attack at once if you can help it. And also hold position your mass so they don't just suicide into stuff. Mihahaz does move his Arb over here to contest Kexilas as he is forced to run away. And let's keep focusing our attention onto Kexilas a bit for this game, because apparently he also stripped the rest of Evilman's spawns really fast as well. So let's just kind of watch his gameplay. I'll still swap over to important game developments, though. You can kind of treat this as a tutorial game of sorts, just like how to really fast do really fast clears as Western Gondor, or in general, because a lot of the concepts can be applied to other factions as well. By the way, Lazy Turtle is camping Hyman Buster at Dol Guldur. Eastern Tharbad is being pushed. There are a few cannons on Tharbad itself, and they're going to all be activated by Hwaldar. A ton of damage going in onto Hwaldar. Those mines completely vaporize Hwaldar's shield. And going back down, Quetzalus is going for a central Underwife Room camp strip from the bottom. Roughly speaking, the north clear and the south clear are mostly the same. Like, you're not going to save a ton of time either way if you pick one or the other over the other. And it looks like Evil Knight's actually going for the solo clear as elves on Dol Guldur. Interesting. Witch King getting very low, not actually dying there to the cannons. And also, Kex has 100 minerals already at the 7-minute mark. Hugely efficient play as Western Gondor. Judging by this extra cannon on Tharbad, this was here before patch 4.10. It looks like Tharbad's fortifications did come out, and the Condor Wainriders also go down here. So Mihaha is having a rough time pushing today, with Hwaldar and Condor Wainriders going down on Tharbad. And now Quetzalus going for the central Underwife Room camp strip on the bottom cannons. I believe you can start just poking it without any cannons fighting back once you take out the bottom 3. Doom being upgraded for elves, Aranvorn for Curfin, Plains for Amar, and Eric for Quetzalus. And remember, you don't need Curfin, or not Curfin, the first gas on Orphank to buy Courier in this patch. Durin did actually dodge the cannons there. The bottom cannons, or the back cannons on Dol Guldur are super, super dense, so you gotta be kind of careful. And yeah, as you can see, Quetzalus can just poke this spawn without having to take any damage from these 3 cannons. Elf Arb does get seen out of position in the north and taken out by Amar. A bit of a rough turn of events for elves. Curfin is actually going for the Dunlin strip from the east. And Quetzalus floating his Arb over, probably going in for another attack. Actually staying out of vision here. I think Mihaha's can actually see the Arb though with those 2 mass units. But he's actually focusing on Dunland right now, so this gives Quetzalus a bit of time. Meanwhile, Lazy Turtle actually going for Hyman Buster's Karn turrets because he's actually rotated on Mirkwood. Commander LF letting a Gore kill get kind of low, but it looks like Celeborn might be going down here with that turnaround. Yep, there we go. You gotta be kind of careful when you're chasing as elves. A lot of your heroes are pretty squishy, especially for Andrew. And Hyman Buster continuing to just go into Mirkwood, but he has only heroes. He's not actually moving medics with his heroes, so that's pretty suboptimal. He loses a lot of healing time for it. At the very least, though, your medics are completely safe. You run no risk of losing them. Curfin and Quetzalus going in for a double on Dunlin, so this actually concentrates their force and basically just makes the mass cover count for double because you get twice as much time, twice as much DPS for the time, so to speak. So just pretty effective, and since Mihaha's is not here to defend, the Dunlin spawn will be just completely stripped. Courier did come out for Quetzalus, by the way. Pretty standard first buy, all things considered. I believe it's just a meta buy for Western Gondor. And if Mihaha isn't careful, he's going to lose that spawn. Or not spawn, special transport. Special transport down to 50 HP. Quetzalus just recalling out a little bit prematurely. If anything, Quetzalus could have taken that fight. Mihaha only has 2 heroes, you know. But regardless, not a huge deal. And Mihaha does not actually have any good options here. He lost Khan, so you can't go LoTR. He lost Wainrider encampment, so you can't go Naz. And this is pre 4.10, so you can't do Nazgul at Endedwife either. Walfo Fortify came out, so he's going to have a very rough time pushing Cardalin. And yeah, Mihaha is just in a terrible position right now. Both of the miners can 1v1 him at this point, I'm pretty sure. Kex is now going for a Yower clear. Very fast clears. So far we've had a Wainrider by 4:30, Central by 8 minutes or so, Dunland by 12, and now Yower. Let's see how fast Kex does it. Now, of course, Carlin did double with Kex for the Dunland kill. Kex goes for all of the cannons here, including this one. I'd assume he goes for this one. Yep, as you can see, maintaining that single cannon policy, only letting one cannon attack at once. Does he have his stun off CD? No, but actually no, he doesn't have any of his sieging abilities off CD, so what's his next play here? 3,500 minerals as well. Typically the next meta buy, if you're playing super meta, is to go for Rovanian, as it used to be called. And he actually recalls over to Eastern Rudar, so while he's waiting for the actual abilities to recharge, he swaps away from Druaf Yower, goes for Eastern Rudar, takes out those outer cannons that are a lot less dense. You really want your abilities for when you're dealing with dense turrets. And since all of these abilities are on CD, he's just kind of doing whatever. He actually diverts a bit of attention to defend Last Bridge from Aymar, and Aymar actually letting Witch King get very low. Adderhill also getting very low though. I think maybe if Kamul Orb came out there, but it was on CD, so alas. I'm pretty sure Kamul Orb deals double damage to heroes. It's not really well known, especially since it's not on the tooltip. Or maybe not double, but like 1.5 times damage. Some bonus to heroes at the very least. So it might have taken out Adderhill there. Adderhill was 170 HP, so maybe not actually, but it would have been close. And then Kurafin attacking the northern cannons, and it looks like here that Good's going to win this game. There's not a lot that Evil has going for them, and from what I was told, it's kind of a stompy game. Like Western Gondor got a very fast clear after all. So this is really less of a competitive game, less of a high-stakes game, and more of just like a tutorial game, just seeing really optimal miners play. Because Kurafin is also a pretty decent Cardalin. Very good. Buster going for Last Bridge instead of Arphadan. Looks like he just does not have the strength to contest Arphadan anymore, and that's probably true. Hexalus actually going for the Enedwipe turrets here instead of Yower. What are his ability cooldowns? He does have the ability to finish off Yower, I guess. But he might be going for Enedwipe because it's upgraded. He does see the Enedwipe Fream after all. What has Mihaha's actually bought so far? He hasn't bought anything yet. Galadriel probably going down here. 5 HP left. Wait, don't tell me that he's not gonna lose Galadriel? 4 HP! 4 HP. We saw Galadriel regen up to 5 HP. It was 4 HP. I think just Smog. If Smog got a second attack off and it bounced over to Galadriel, she would have died. That was so close. But Smog also had to recall out or he would have died himself. Minaglar over here, taking out Eastern Rudar. Looks like it is going to go down. And now Kex is just kind of consolidating in this area, waiting for Evil Man to do something before he attacks. Actually, no, he's just waiting for his ARB. He's not waiting for Evil Man. So he hasn't actually gone for Yower for a while. It looks like he is just going for Enedwipe because you want to be targeting Evil Man's gas as a miner. This is a pretty important, like, number one, like, even if you don't have, like, the best clears, you don't need 4-minute, 30-second clears on Wainrider. That's super overkill. You don't need that to be a good player. What you just need to do is have some good strategic sense and go for stuff like Evil Min gas spawns first. Recognize the gas, go for the gas spawns first. Also, we just saw Mihaj just kind of miss a medic in a recall and let it walk through Kex. And that medic died, of course. But yeah, abandoning a halfway done spawn to go for EM gas spawns, generally speaking, is the right play. Kex now has 62, 6250. Rally the Northman is 6050, so he can now go for Marhuini and then upgrade him into Frumgar Sum, and yet he recalls over in preparation. Meta buy, even more DPS on your hero ball. If you want to just play super meta as Western Gondor, go for very just viable stuff, go for the right-click damage. Just do Kuranir into Rovanian, into Frumgar, and just kind of build off from there. This is still true in the current patch, by the way. Even though Kuranir and Frumgar got something of a nerf in that you have to gas both of these spawns, it's still like, it's still meta. Like, it's still mostly the strongest one. Gotta be very careful here. This is a huge crossfire of 5 cannons that was going in for Adderhill. But Dol Guldur should be going down now. Looks like Hexalus was finishing it off because Elves did not actually finish it off, even though all of the Northern cannons were stripped. Elves kind of doing something redundant. You don't need to be stripping these cannons now that Dol's dying, unless you want to go for the full strip for some reason, but you don't need to do that in most cases. Kurfin is going to finish off Eastern Rudara here, so Evilman is very close to dying. Evilman has just been defending a lot. If Evilman wasn't defending so much, then Kex might have even gotten the Ended Wife clear even faster. And yep, again, maintain 1 cannon attacks. Hold position your mass. You want your mass cover to not die. Your mass cover means that your heroes can spend more time attacking cannons and less time healing. And let's see the ability status. So Ernir's ability still on CD, still on CD, still on CD. So I forget where he used it on. I think he used it on Dol Guldur, maybe? But he used those abilities somewhere. Eastern Rudar, we just saw it go down. And Kex is just now attacking. Now, I'm pretty sure Kex can just 1v1 Evilman. It's 5 heroes to 2. He just wants to do it in a favorable area for him without too much cannon cover. Galadriel dies pushing Scaffa. You gotta be very careful with those. Make sure that Galadriel doesn't get, or just any hero does not get a full focus. This is a ton of cannons. You don't want to really push into this directly. You want to like get the outer cannon stripped first before going in on this, because a mismount that is paying attention can just instant volley you. Evilman transport does get sniped down over here. You gotta remember to move away your Arb once Eastern Rudar is killed, because your Arb is no longer safe. And it looks like Hex is actually going for Mount Graham because Evilman is just camping Ended Wife. Starbad still has not gone down somehow. And Guelpha did come down, so if Tribute to Lord can come out before Tharbad dies, that'd be a nice boon for Kurfin. And indeed, Kurfin is asking for 1,100 minerals for Lord of Tharbad. Yep. So there is an argument that it's not super viable to buy Lord of Tharbad at this stage because Tharbad is mostly stripped, and a large part of why Lord is good is because you can go for Buccaneers, but extra hero power, direct DPS is probably the play regardless. Evil Knight going for the Goblin Town push. Now this is the definition of a really inefficient push. Look at this. There are so many cannons that are attacking the mass of elves. I think elves was like at max mass, and 100 of it just went down for basically nothing. He was actually targeting down the spawn itself, which is even worse. Elves does not have a ton of single target damage, especially since he was not using the melees, and Malvigil almost going down, and in return, the Kamul goes down. Kamul dives in too far. I think if Malvigil did not have the Chieftain of the Loss of Regeneration, he would have gone down along with Carfane. Ooh, rough for Hyman Buster. Mihahas is now being chased away by Kurfin. Kurfin now has the confidence to just kind of 1v1 Mihahas, and he is winning the 1v1. Mihahas just does not have the strength to actually contest. Rogash did also come up for some reason, and ooh, looks like Lazy Turtle not using the lifeboat does lose the Chief of the Lost off for it. Still, it's a good trade. Trading Chief of the Lost off for Rogash is generally good. And as a general rule, if you trade while ahead, it's better than trading while behind. And Evil is definitely behind in this game. It's just complete domination by the miners this game. There's not miners who really know what they're doing, know how to go for fast, efficient clears, know to identify gas, to target gas. Now, Dwarf Yower is still alive at the very least, but you know, it's the writing's on the wall now. Evilman is going to full die very soon, at the 25-minute mark no less, which is Pretty fast, all things considered. It could be a bit faster if elves was tripling, but you don't need elves to triple in those cases. It just would be faster if elves was also focusing. And yeah, look at this. Even though Evil Min recalls over to contest, Kerfin can just straight up run him away. He doesn't need to recall away in this case because Mihaly just can't actually contest him anymore. And this is also a show of just like how rough it is to lose heroes early as Evil Min. Even if you trade, and in which case he didn't even trade, your pushing power is so much weaker that you scale so much less. Like typically, if Evil Min is allowed to do damage, they buy so much stuff and scale so hard that it's really nice. But in this case, Evil Min's just really sad. 25-minute mark, they have not bought anything of note. Gorkill does die at Karn Doom there, and Golfenbill gets very low. Adderhill did get a little bit exposed, but Kex did not get punished for that, and was able to secure the Gorkill kill up because of it. But also, Mirkwood was bought by Misty Mountains there. It looks like Kex kind of just forgot about his ARB here, or didn't react in time, and the ARB got killed because it was resting at Mirkwood. Not the biggest deal at this point in the game, but you're so far ahead, it probably won't matter. Karn Doom is going to go down soon to this double. Very effective use of zoning. Gargleb actually goes down. Looks like Lazy Turtle did not notice that. A little bit of a misplay there. Chief Nadalin was barely above arrowing range, so arrows would not have finished him off, but it would have been very close. And now Kex is just working on Gundabad, it seems. Edenwipe did die to Kerfin earlier, and it looks like they're just ignoring Yower because it's just not a threat anymore. Oster is going to go down here. It looks like he was a little bit too far forward, got focused by too many cannons at once. So Misty Mountains is definitely currently the evil player with the most strength, but he's also down 2 heroes, which is not ideal. He did trade for one of them, but due to the loss off is not the best. And yeah, Kex is now finishing off Yower, making sure that Evil Min will no longer be a annoyance. Rapid Galen does have his ability available. Yes, this is the best turret to claim on Yower because it's really inconvenient to focus this. It's really annoying to actually try and kill that. And yeah, that's the spawn down. And it looks like Kex is going for a full clear, just grabbing all this money. He already got these cannons over here, so it's a lot easier to strip it for money. And Good is so far ahead that they can afford to strip for money and just go for meme buys. I wonder what he's gonna buy after this though, because after you get Roomguard, there aren't a ton of like meta buys per se. I guess the closest one might be Mardil, or no, maybe Rally. Yeah, Rally's the meta buy after it, for sure. But he's actually rebuying his special transport. Probably the right move here. He doesn't need to buy it per se because like they're just winning so hard. But if he was playing super competitively, the right play would be to rebuy the special transport. In almost all cases, very few exceptions, you want to rebuy special transports in competitive games of Rise. If you lose one, the utility of just being able to rotate outweighs basically everything else. There are very few situations where you don't need to rebuy a special transport if you have the chance. Although if you want to have fun and not like actually be able to use something else, it's like in this case Kex could have gone for Rally or another hero and it would have been fine for him if you wanted to, because he was winning anyways. It would not have been viable though, or optimal I should say. Dude, this was actually changed. Oh. Minor QOL. Anyways, looks like Commander LF is committing to this attack. None of White's heroes were actually targeting that. I don't know what Commander LF was targeting there. It looks like it might have been Kernir. Frandrel might be going down here, but not before Great Goblin is focused down by Kexelis. So that was a trade. I don't think Crandrel needed to die there. I think, if I remember correctly, Evil Knight kind of stopped moving him back prematurely. Ren does come out for Evil Man. That's Misty Mountains. That is interesting. And now, Red can actually 1v1 one of the Evil factions here, which is never a good sign for Evil. They have to double Red for him to leave. Tharbad is fully upgraded, by the way. Oh, Malvigil did actually die in that engagement, so it looks like Lazy got a little bit greedy. Was a little bit more aggressive than he needed to be. Ginger does actually die down here, though, so it looks like Amar also got a little bit greedy, but Arvalek is going to go down here. There were a few Dark Blades in the Amar ball, and they have pretty high speed, so they were able to finish him off. Yeah, I mean, Evil is getting quite a few moral victories, but there's no way to win this. The miners are just completely untouched. Exodus going for the Arp Snipe, probably getting it, maybe? He pulls off in time for the Arp to escape. I think Hex could have stuck that and he would have gotten it without losing anything. Hex is now attacking from the bottom. Going for Esverine instead of directly attacking planes. Amar is just ignoring him. He's going for... Evilmen are just ignoring him. They're going for Kurafin, but this is a rough choke to be in. And with 3 Tharbad Buccaneers, they can't really push that. That's a very inefficient push for Evil. Arperdane Special Transport does get dived by Misty Mountains. Does die. But Evil Knight does manage to chase away this Misty Mountains push. And now, there's only one more cannon defending Ice Marine, and Commander Elf just kind of suicides an Arb there. Bit rough. You don't want to like move in Arbs like that, especially with a 5-hero Western Gondor, because it just gets focused and dies. Lord Tharbad getting a little bit low, but ooh, Chieftain of Dunland does not actually go down there. That's interesting. Would have thought he would. And then Amar comes in from the back, forces Carlin to run away, and actually we can see that Golden Bull got the Mount Graham Marauders upgrade before Graham died. Austin Heal comes out for Carlin, fairly standard meta buy again. And yeah. Let's just see this, some people do struggle with pushing Evil's corresponds in the late game, so this is also a pretty good example of like what to do. How do you do it? How do you like go for good angles? Because a lot of these cannons are super dense, like right here, and on Etten as well. It's generally pretty difficult. Now Scaffa is still maxed. It is still a threat for good, but it looks like they're just gonna finish off Amar first. After all, Plains is maxed, or close to max. This is the last upgrade. Lord Tharbad being focused, you gotta be a bit careful with Lord Tharbad. Lord Tharbad only has, I believe, 1275 HP, or maybe even 1225 HP at base. He's a lot squishier than you would think. Gotta be careful with him. And Kex is just going for the outer cannons here. It looks like he's not going for the immediate kill on Amar, but instead making future pushes a bit safer. Irdan does go down. Misty Mountains can still put up a good fight against Elves, which is also weakened. Elves is actually only on Glorfindel, yeah. But really, realistically, Kex can solo the game from here. Maybe not solo, but like, even if Elves fully dies, Lazy fully dies. Actually, he already did. Oh, Adderhill does go down, though. That was a bit of a miss micro. Moot Lord runs in while stimmed. Bit rough for Kex there. Arvidui comes out. Lazy is back in the game. Fornos is being upgraded for Lazy. He has run out of other stuff to gas. Anumas is max. It seems like he expected Fornos to die a bit earlier than it did. Or it hasn't died, I should say. Yep. Pretty big call of Nilu, but he does miss a lot of the Urg crossbowmen, which is really what you want to hit with those. Urg crossbowmen and Goblin Hunters. Dolphin Bull runs up and forward to attack the Cardalin heroes, but as we can see, Cardalin isn't even running away. Cardalin just has the strength to just solo this right now. Amar is about to go down. Yep, that's Amar Plains dead. And it seems like, judging by the actual playtime, Evil just kind of tapped out after this one, as we should be seeing in a few seconds. It is also coming in with elves to go for Mirkwood. Now, Misty Mountain still has a mass advantage, so they can't just blindly push. But it looks like Hex is going to run away safely. Witch King does die on Fornos. Amar calls GG. And all of Commander LF's mask goes down trying to dive Glorf. And Glorf actually does die, so Misty Mountains gets the moral with Ren's DPS. And yeah, GG. So that game, it wasn't very competitive. It was arguably it was stacked a little bit. Binders is kind of completely decimated Evilman and completely carried the game from there. And still, that was a very good show, a very good showing of like how to push as a miner, since this is something that a lot of people struggle with, like how to effectively use your mass to cover, how to best angle your heroes, how to pick targets as a miner, and how, given enough strength, you can straight up just contest the full factions up north as a miner in the end. So yeah, pretty good show by Kexelas and Kurafin and everyone else. GG.